Hello, and welcome to my space. Thank you for joining me. Before I begin, I'm going to just take a moment to breathe into my soul center and to allow myself to relax into my soul space and allow my soul to become the prominent part of me. I would ask that you would do the same thing so that we can then share this space together from our soul centers. And when I am giving my information from my soul space, you are receiving it not through your intellect but through your soul. And then you can allow it to be filtered by your soul, and you can accept the parts of it that match your resonant field and allow it to gradually filter through your system. And the parts of it that are not a match will not go through your soul center. Your soul center is the greatest filtration system. When we listen from our intellect, we're allowing belief systems to be formulated in our mind that may not match our soul. So I'm just going to breathe in now, and if you would like to, you can join me. So breathing into the soul, and as we breathe out, we just feel the energy flowing through our system. Breathing in, flowing through our system. How have you been finding your time with your soul? Have you been establishing a friendship? Have you been taking the time to sit with your soul? The soul talks to us slowly, bit by bit. It doesn't come at us with force. It's a very subtle, very quiet, very gentle voice. We need to kindle the relationship. It's no different to any other relationship. When you meet someone, you have a shallow friendship, a polite interaction. And as you spend time with the person, your relationship deepens. You find out more about each other. You feel more comfortable. You begin to know a person's behaviours and all of the things that make them unique. It's exactly the same when we develop our relationship with our soul. At first it is superficial in a sense. It is distant, or there's not much to it. But as we spend time with our soul, it becomes very rich, and we get more and more insight and more understanding. I'm going to just speak about the difference between meditating and sitting with your soul. When we learn to meditate, we learn a formula that is created in the mind space to get us to a certain place. And depending on who's teaching it, they will have a certain method that is meant to take you to a place. And there's an understanding of a place of bliss, a place of peace. It is actually all formulated in the mind, and it takes us away from our soul center. When we spend time with the soul, when we actually just breathe into our soul and allow our soul to become the prominent one, we immerse ourselves into our divinity. And from that space, it takes us and shows us we're not creating the space, the soul is allowing access to the space. It's a very different thing. It's worth experimenting with both methods. So do a formal meditation and see where you are and how you feel, and really be conscious about how you actually feel, what's going on in your body. And then do an exercise where you are just simply breathing into your soul center and allowing your soul center to expand, and observe what that feels like. How your being feels, who you become in that space. It's very different. A lot of teachings are almost bringing you to your soul, but not quite. And that's why they are so appealing, because we're actually all looking for our relationship with our soul. And there's so many teachings out there that are tantalizing, they're fascinating, they are leading you to all sorts of exciting experiences, but they aren't actually leading you to your soul. And they are all valuable experiences. There's nothing that shouldn't be tried. But if you are really wanting to know who you are and to be solid and strong, full and expansive, you will find your answers within you. There's a lot of talk at the moment about ascended masters, about galactic beings that have all the answers, and there's a lot of people choosing to listen to these teachings. We really do not need someone outside of ourselves to show us how to be human. All of these beings in other places do not know what it is like to be human. They cannot tell us how to be. The earth has had many lifetimes of interference from galactic beings, from other worlds. Millions of years, actually, the story has been going on. This current version that we're now in is just another chapter of the same story that goes on and on and on. Galactic beings have been here and interfering with the life here for a very long time. We are here to be fully human. And to be fully human, we need to integrate all of our parts of ourselves and to start emanating our soul expression. There is no one in any other place that has more understanding of how that is done than us. I would really ask the question, why are we so eager to give our power away to someone outside of us when we have absolutely no idea who they really are and what their agenda is? If we choose to allow these beings to show us the way, to guide us, to interfere with our process, we are not going to be fully human. We are going to have to go through another cycle of this great cycle and stay here as the limited version of self that we are. Everywhere we look, there is obvious evidence of the galactic beings having been here, and all of us have part of that DNA in us from all different star systems, from all different places. We need to recognize that we have all sorts in our being, that we're made up of many, 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 many aspects over countless period of time. Who we are here now is what's important for this time and space. Who we have been at other times in other places is only relevant when we are requiring that part of ourselves to show us something about the here and now. What a lot of people are doing at the moment is they're remembering an aspect of themselves that is from a star system, and they are giving too much of themselves to that aspect, and therefore allowing that aspect to become the prominent part of self. This is why so many people are choosing or wanting to go home. They are not centered in the who they are, the here and now. They're allowing a bleed through from another time and space to actually override their true being and take control of who they are, so they don't feel as though they belong here, and they have a lot of trouble with just being here. We need to acknowledge all of the aspects of ourselves, all the different beings that we've been, and we need to bring them into our soul center and embrace them. But we should not be trying to be them here and now. The imbalances so many of us feel are because we're allowing one of our aspects to be more present than it should be. In our soul center, we hold all of our aspects. When we go into our soul, and what we will see, it looks very like the universe. And there's lots and lots of stars there. Each star that you see is an aspect of you, a life that you have had. Millions. We get very excited when we know about our past life, or we work on a trauma that happened in a past life. But when we actually really spend time with ourselves and go into our soul and recognize that we are an endless number of beings, aspects, all integrated into this one soul, and we're here now, it actually makes no sense to be spending all of our time working on one life, one trauma, one aspect, when there's millions of them. What we can do is allow all of them to be present, allow all of them to unify, allow all of them to be exactly who they are, and allow them to become the whole. We become whole when we allow all of our aspects to be present and unified. And then we, as this being here and now, human on earth, can be an illuminated whole. The reason we become illuminated is because all of our bits fit together and shine. It's a very different explanation to the one of the crystalline being. I am not here to be a crystalline being. I'm here to be an integrated whole. I'm an illuminated human. So much of the teaching that is coming from galactic beings is leading us away from ourselves, so that we will need to do another cycle of this story. What most people don't realise is that humans are the only ones that actually have the ability to unify all of their aspects as a whole. All of my aspects that live in other places that I have had conversations with and I have spent time with have all told me the same thing. And that is that they only have the life they're living in them. They can come here as the being that they are. They have the ability to jump dimensions and different things like that. But none of them can access their other lives. Humans are the only ones out of all of the beings in the universe that have that ability. The rocks I speak to, the trees I speak to, the birds I speak to, the many beings that I speak to all tell me the same thing. They have this one life. They do not have access to their other lives. Humans have access to the universe through their soul center. No other being has that. And yet we are allowing beings to lead the way, to show us how to be. This is a limited and dangerous way of thinking. We will become fully illuminated humans when we begin to behave in a way that we have been created to be. The only way to do this is to expand our soul center and allow it to actually become the prominent one here. And when we do this, everything changes, because our perception of everything changes. Nothing can be the same when you start to see from here. No one from any other place, no ascended master, no galactic being, no person here can tell you more than what you already know. You need to really start to trust yourself and to listen. Listen for the soul prompts. They're very quiet. They never push. They're never in your face. Quiet prompts. I really encourage you to be listening and to allow yourself to turn inside out. That's all for today. Talk again soon. Bye for now.